Is accepting a cash offer the right place to do as a homeowner? This is the video for you. You're on the fence about making an offer like that because more often than not, it may sound enticing, it may close fast, or maybe they say no agent fees. The list goes on. But more often, you actually lose out on way more money than you think you will. And I'm going to break down for you. I've learned after my team's done $1.6 billion transactions for the past few years, what I see every single day versus doing cash offer or going on the market instead. And this is why I think it's so important to really know this topic. So without further ado, let's hop into this video and hopefully make you way more money and save you a lot of time and headaches. So welcome. So you take a cash offer on this deal from companies like you buy houses, like this one, Zillow, Redfin, all different platforms. There are so many iBuyer programs. And the iBuyer program is this internet buyer. What it means, super simple. And these companies, it's a business model. Like I'm not gonna say they're good, they're bad, they're justice or not. There is a business model. It's what they do. Ugly homes, the reason why they buy them is, in theory, I'll talk more later on, is so they can get a really good deal and then flip them for themselves. And like me though, you want the best deal. So make sure you watch this entire video. I'm going to break down a lot of different strategies and systems for you. I'll be able to understand exactly what to be doing moving forward, how to think about buying and selling your house. Again, my team's done $1.6 billion. My name is Jordan. I'm the co-founder of Elite Edge and also Elite Real Estate Group here in Austin, Texas. We're helping all 50 states and 25 countries though. I'm also the host of a TV show on Apple TV, HCTV, Amazon Prime, best-selling author next to Alex Mosey, Brand Turner, Pastor Talk from Southern Sunset, and we're top ranking number 1, 2, 3 in all the major cities in Austin and around, breaking records from selling houses to the point where it goes on and on and on forever. And you see here, we've broken records many, many times, reached over 25 million people, not including the TV show, or even on YouTube account, just on Instagram alone. And again, we're from the top agents in the entire country. And this is why I'm so big on teaching you all on this channel the best ways to grow your wealth, grow your skill sets, and of course, in real estate. So how do we navigate the best offer to take? Because again, there's so many moving parts, there's so many things out there, and there's so many iBuyer programs now, it makes it hard to really navigate what's best for you, or your family, or your assets. Now, number one, what we should really cover is going to be the goal. And the goal breaks up into two parts. One, the goal for you, and the goal for the iBuyer, or for the flipper, or for the investor, or the wholesaler. Because the iBuyer programs, the cash offer deals, are not just the big box companies that you see that are Zillows and We Buy Ugly Houses and so forth. It's also other agents sometimes within reason. There's fiduciary rules and lines not as prominent there, but wholesalers, investors, and flippers, all these people have goals, and so do you. And when you're thinking about accepting an offer, the first step is know your goal. Why are you selling in the first place? Is it because the house that you have is now just encumbersome and it's now just a headache for you and you just want to get off your plates and you don't really care if you don't make max dollars? Then maybe it's for you to do a cash offer, quick and easy. You will lose a lot of capital, but if your whole strategy is like, I want to sell this ASAP with no questions asked, you can't do that. If your goal is like, I want to get a good price for my property in a timely manner, then a cash offer from anybody, depending on how it's structured, is probably not the best for you. Like I sold a cash deal last week, but for this cash deal, it was on the marketplace and it was 100K above asking price out of 8 offers. It was the highest one we had. So they outperformed everybody, plus it was a cash. So I'm not saying cash deals are bad by any means. Cash deals are great. Just depends on the context of the cash deal itself. If the cash deal is coming to you through a website, a portal, an application you did online, or through a solicitation through a different medium that is done before it's on the MLS, on the public marketplace, that is when I think it's a big problem because you're missing out on opportunities. So your goal is super important. What are you looking for? Time, money, etc. What is that for you? Have it in your head. Make sure you know where your goal is. Now, for the other people, the iBuyers, the flippers, wholesalers, and so forth, their goal is a lot of different things. Now, if they are doing wholesaling, for example, their goal is to buy the house from you on contract below asking price and then resell that same contract, not the house, but the contract to an investor. And they make the difference. So it's going to be even more below market value because think about this. Let's say for easy math, the house is worth $1 million and on true market value. But they know if they bought for $1 million, the wholesaler, they make no money and no one would buy it. And for investors, more on the assume, but for flippers, they use a rule called the 70% rule, meaning that they will buy a property that is 70% below the ARV after repair value. So if the property is worth $1.2 million after all is said and done, they're buying for around like $800K, give or take. So yeah, about $800K, give or take, after all is said and done. So this is why it's so important to understand how it works. Because the wholesaler, what they will do is say, great, I'm going to buy this property on paper from you, the seller, at, let's say, if it's at $1 million, they buy for $750, $780. They will then sell that $780 contract to a flipper or a cash buyer or investor, and they make $20,000, $50,000 or more sometimes as a spread. And then the investor then buys the property at the new value from you with them as the middleman and closes. This is legal in most cases, just the way they depends how they do it, but it's legal in most cases, happens all the time. And then from there, the flipper, which is now their goal, so we broke down wholesalers' goal. The wholesalers' goal is to get sold below market value. They can make a spread to sell the contract below market value to somebody else. That's still a good deal. Number two is going to be the flipper's goal is to then buy it from them or from you directly at that 70% ARV. And then from there, they'll say, great, I now know that for this to work for me, I'm going to buy it $800K, I'm going to rehab the property, I'm going to sell for 1.2, and then that is how they make their capital after closing costs, holding fees, construction costs, and so forth. So when it comes to investors, and that same terminology, this methodology, I guess you would say, for the flipper is the same strategy you have when it comes down to We Buy Ugly Houses. Those kind of websites you see as their business model in a nutshell. And it sounds attractive on paper because they say, hey, buy this property from us, let me buy this property from you. No agent fees, no this, no that, no construction, no rehabbing. I'll take all the hard work off your hands, but they're buying it below market value by 20 to 50% sometimes. Massive spread way below market value, and that way they can make a big profit in the back end. For them, especially in this market, profit is super razor thin. So you have to be super aggressive. And again, there's nothing wrong or right about this, depending on who you ask, but that's just their business model. So you gotta know if you get offers that's all cash through websites or even through other agents, more often than not, there is some alternative motive there. The motive is to like get below asking price, or if it's an agent or a company, the goal is to like get you to say yes to them so you can then convert you into a client. Either way, there's goals for them too. Just know what goal are you looking at. So this is the two big things there. So for flippers, wholesalers, all cash iBuyers, all the same thing, buy below market value. Otherwise, it makes no sense. So now you know that, you already know automatically, you make less money. But if your goal is to sell super quickly and you don't care about money, then great, it could work for you. Another one too, though, is like sometimes it just is not possible to sell the house for top dollar because maybe you have not a lot of resources. If it's worth $1,000,000 today, but right now it has some broken shingles and the floor is kind of messed up, or the carpet is from the 80s or 90s, the list goes on, you can't afford to throw in $50,000 to $100,000 to rehab the property, well then the resources is tight and it would be kind of hard to sell. Now, am I saying you make less money on the public market? No, not by any means. You still make more money on the public market because now it's a bigger database. But at the same time, if you don't want to deal with that, you can avoid that and say, hey, I'm going to sell to this flipper or wholesaler and let them deal with rehabbing the property, cut me out of this, and then you're kind of making that spread in that way, but not really. So that is another thing to keep in mind as well. Now, with that being said, though, if you also, let's say, big on privacy, kind of go back real fast for goals, and you don't want to be on the market, you can still list the property with an agent or with yourself or somebody else, and then still market super aggressive and make the iBuyers, wholesalers, flippers fight for the house to push it up. So there are all ways to still work with an agent and so forth and have the privacy intact them, or also just have your name totally just washed from the MLS so they don't know who you are, or through an LLC even. So again, if privacy is a big concern as well, there are ways around that if you want to make more capital, but I just don't care, I'm going to sell super quickly and have full privacy, you can do that too. Now back to resources though, I have a solution for you. If you're like, I want to sell my house for top dollar, but I have no capital to rehab my property, not an issue. As one of the top agents in all of America, I have special connections. This is my vendor that only works with my company at eXp Real Estate that I'm part of here in America. And the way Curbio works is that they will do all the renovations for you at no cost. So you want new flooring, new bath set, new kitchen, new landscaping, new anything, you name it, they will do it for you at no cost. And then, once the property sells, you then pay them that construction fee at closing. It's obviously going to be at a premium because like they're fronting you the money. It's going to be a higher rate than it would normally be through a construction company you hire yourself. But this will make you more money on the back end normally. Because normally what happens is if you list the property without renovations, you will normally get more time on market, more often than not. Low ball offers will sell below true market value, not below as is market value, because if it's worth that much money, you get paid that much money for it, but below market value, because market value wants a home that's completely renovated. You have more bargain hunters and flippers trying to find a huge profit, which would be more often than not, and you might drive away home buyers who wants to sell a move-in ready house. So listing without having a renovations does have drawbacks completely. Now you can also do minor renovations either through Curbio that they pay for you, or through yourself and your own means as well before going to the market. And we have a whole checklist we give to you to be ready for the marketplace, from interior, exterior, garage, kitchen, bathroom, and so forth, to make it as easy as possible for you. Either home list ready without breaking the bank. So it is an option for you as well, but Curbio does it for you too, and no cost until after closing, so you can make more money. And then option 3, which is what normally people will try and do because they don't know about Curbio, they do it themselves, either through cash or credit, which is upfront. You are risk investing in renovations that may not even increase the price. Now, granted, if you work with me as your agent, then that won't be an issue for you. Come on, I can walk you through how to do it correctly. And my contractor team is amazing at making sure it's going to be the best stuff to do and not waste the time and money. Then hire subcontractors as well, meet deadlines, and stressful, time-consuming process. Now, I use both of these strategies with my clients. Some clients prefer doing Curbio because it's less money out of pocket. Some prefer doing a traditional contractor that I have to have connections with as well, to help you through the whole process. But either way, I want to let you know there's an option for you. And if you want help buying or selling real estate in all 50 states and 25 different countries, down below, link in the description, the first comment inside the link, first comment section, how to call with me directly, free consultation. I'll walk you through all this and more, how much the house is worth, what can we do for you for buying or selling all across the nation. So that is an option for you as well, for more support from you. Now, here's the biggest thing why I don't agree with doing Ibuyer programs or even doing wholesale deals or even flipper deals more often than not. Now, I have clients that do flipping, and this is why I can tell you with full transparency, like a flipper wants margins, wants profit. So for again, their goal is to get as low as they possibly can. And if I'm with my investor clients, and I'm not on the listing side, obviously, for that deal, on the buy side, I've saved my clients. My biggest savings to date was $372,000 for one client. That was not a flipper, it was just a home buyer. Another one was $261,000 for a different client who was a home buyer. My highest one for a flipper was like $89,000 on their house they bought to flip. So like they are looking for big price discounts. And my biggest savings, technically to date, was a couple days ago. That was $1 million below asking price. Now, granted, I made the sellers move the land. We want to buy that, so they just bought the property instead. So keep the land for themselves and some other things as well. So that was $1 million savings, but there was more involved into that. This is one property that we did for him. But my point about this is reach, because if you're not on the market, you have to more or less accept those kind of offers. If I find a market off market for my buyer clients, I will negotiate harder because I now know there's no competition. If you work with an agent or yourself, you list it online to social media, MLS, Zillow, and platforms like those, you get more reach, it gives you more eyeballs, it gives you more offers, which creates a bidding war done correctly, which is what you want. Now, if you're doing platforms like We Buy Ugly Houses, Zillow, the list goes on, or if someone lists to you for a postcard, or a cold call, or a door knock about buying a house off market for this cash deal, then your reach is limited to that small pool of people, which means you have no way to really inflate the price, I guess is better words to say, on your property. So this is why I'm not a huge fan of iBuyer programs or those kind of strategies, because you're missing out on so many people, especially nowadays, where we kind of live on this like super even earth, when everything's connected. People who live in Japan, America, China, and so forth, all can be buying properties here in America, and that's why I think it's so important to not just do people on a small basis. Again, you can do platforms like Open Door, OfferPad, Zavvy, Offer Deposit, Zillow, Redfin, Knock, and so forth. There's so many of these properties just off the screen. That is an option for you. But I want you to know two things. One, when you make an offer like this through Zillow and so forth, the price and the business model for them and their goal is to buy below market value and then resell it. So like Zillow and Redfin, for example, and Open Door, and OfferPad, what kind of OfferPad, but Open Door and so forth, these are brokerages. So they also own a brokerage, more or less. And when you are selling your property to them for all cash deal, one, what they do is they look online, do a quick CMA based on the Zillow license, which is always off by like $50,000 to $200,000. So don't ever trust that, but that is a thing that happens for their favor, honestly. And then they say, great, I'm gonna buy this from you. They say it's worth $1 million. I'm gonna buy it from you for $820,000. I'm gonna relist it now with my agents on my brokerage, which is through Zillow, now at that $1 million price point, and then make the returns. That is the goal for them and the business model. Just keep that in mind when you accept these. This is number one. Number two, a lot of times these people tell you that you will not have to pay any agent fees, and you might save 3%. because if you look at it, you're still paying the buyer agent fee. The listing agent fee will go away, but it's 3%. So if the home is worth $1 million, that's $30K. But the issue I'm seeing here is that, one, there's a lot of hidden fees. So normally what actually happens is you pay 8 to 12% or higher sometimes. That doesn't do that for you because there's closing fees, there's agent fees for the buyer side, and there's closing cost fees, which is like 5% by itself. So normally you're going to pay more, honestly, through these programs you would normally doing it through an agent. But that being aside, the biggest thing on top of that is that not only are you paying all these big fees, you also are having to pay way below market value. So if the home is worth $1 million, and they want to buy it from you for 10, 20, 30%, sometimes some more below market value, you add in that difference on top of the closing costs, on top of everything else as well. And then you lose now on 20, 30, 40, 50% where you should have made normally. And this is going to show you on how real this is. I'm going to go to ChatGPT, say, how much does Zillow charge So if I ask Zillow, I'm ask ChatGPT, you see right here, I'm not just making up numbers. Normally, you would pay around 8 to 10% for closing costs. So closing costs actually ends up being way, way more than would normally be if you worked with an agent. So this is why it happens. So Ibuyer programs, which is now shut down because of how bad it was, but you still see these kind of things in different platforms and brokerages. 1.5 to 9% of the real estate value, sometimes up to 22%, which is insane. So normally commission is 6%, maybe 5%, and you're paying more. So again, it's not just me saying this math, it's also right here. But on top of that, not only is it here, but also below market value. So again, it's twice. You're paying a lot more. All your platforms are this way. So there's no agent fees, there are just different fees covering that because they know they can do it. Okay, option 2. After you've seen this, like, okay, should I go to the marketplace? Well, hopefully by now you think you should. Maybe saying to yourself, well, I don't want to pay, 6% because I want to save money. And I get it. I like saving money too. But here's the thing. If you sell your house with a different company or by yourself even, or cover pretty soon, you're always going to pay 3%. So you're only losing out on 3% difference. But if you use an iBuyer program, you're going to lose out on 10, 20, 50, 60, probably 50% of the true value. So hiring an agent that is your fiduciary working for you only, you're adding the extra 3%, but that 3% is going to save you that 10, 50, 25% or more that you normally pay otherwise. So this is why I like being an agent. I'm so passionate about this because I love what I do, and this is like what I do every single day, all day long. So I think using an agent would be the best option for a lot of reasons. For more resources, more support, more marketing, more reach, so forth. Or let's say after all I said to you, you still said, I don't want to do it with an agent. Now I hate iBuyer programs. I'm going to do it myself. I get it. Do it yourself if you want to. It's a lot harder than it looks online and through the paperwork and through how it is. For fun math for you, last year in 2024, 76% of agents sold 0 homes. 76% of agents sold 0 homes. So out of 2 million people, 1.5 million people sold 0 homes. And then the next 10 to 20% sold 1 or 2 homes. So most agents are not even selling houses, and for a lot of them, that's like their full-time job. I know people that have been agents for 10 years, full-time, and sold a home for 10 months. So I'm just saying it is harder than it looks, but you can do that, and you can pay for MLS. They can have your listing and you have your house on that platform to reach more people. But just know, I have a whole video coming soon all about this. But like, just for this quick video, just know that when you have it for sale by owner, what most people will say is that I will take advantage of these people because I'm now doing two jobs, or I would not let my clients buy these properties because they're probably unreasonable if they're skimping on 3%. So just know what may happen if you do that, but you can. But statistically, what I've seen in the past, most homeowners who do it by themselves, for sale owners, lose out on 28% of their true market value. That is before we even talk about over asking offers. And it happens because a lot of people that make offers for sale owners are these Ibuyer people, flippers, wholesalers, because they know more often than not, you might be different. I think you're probably super smart if you're watching this video. I know you're super smart. But for most people out there who are for sale owners, the people making offers know they're probably not the best at doing real estate because that's not what they do every single day. They have other jobs in their lives, and they will take advantage of people and have lowball offers and so forth, or crazy contingencies. And then, if you again talk to an agent, more often than not, agents won't even see the property because it's not on the MLS, and we don't normally look off the MLS to find properties for our clients. That I do because like I want more options for them, but most agents don't. So with that in mind, that means they don't even see the house, and if they did see the house, they say, well, they probably won't pay agent fees, or they probably won't be negotiable, or I have to do the contract for my clients and for them because they don't know how to do it themselves. List goes on. It becomes more a headache, and a lot of the people will steal, which is not totally legal. If you don't see it, then it's fine. But if a client brought it to us, they have to pursue it. Either way, they will normally steal them away from these kind of transactions because they know it's a headache. Now, this small number of sales for easier math. Let's say somebody sold by themselves without a real estate agent. The home is worth $200K. The sale price for them is $183. Realtor fees, you're still paying a fee for the agent unless you did both sides by yourself with no agents at all involved, which is possible. At this price point, it's $5.5K. Closing costs is 1 to 3%. So it's 2% down for this easy math, $3.7K. And say mortgage is paid off. That means your net proceeds is $174,000, almost $175,000. But you should have made $200K. You should have made probably at least an extra $10, $15K with an agent help if they just did a bare minimum job and ask value. Now for me, what I've done for my clients, with my help, the house is worth $200,000. We sell for $255,000. Agent fees is $15K total, 3 and 3, 3% to the buyer's agent, 3% to the seller's agent. So you're paying an extra $9,000 in this example right now, because normally you would have paid $5.5K to the buyer's agent. Now you're paying $15K, so let's say $10K more. And for the seller's agent, they have marketing fees, broker fees, and then to the self. So like, they're not making all that money. Just a caveat for you, agents are not as rich as you think they are, more often than not, especially if they're this average agent. They're making an honest living, helping you sell the houses. That being said, closing costs now is 2% still at a higher price point. Mortgage paid off. Now you made $234,000, almost $235,000, which is $60,000 more than you would have by yourself. And this also is not even talking about if the person and for sale owner took a offer from a cash buyer or from a flipper, it'd be even less. This is why I think it's so important to not do it yourself. And if you want more support about this strategy and you still do it yourself, you totally can. I'm just here to help you as much as I can as your fiduciary agent. A whole video up above, you can see in the link up top, that breaks down how to sell a house for yourself, A to Z. And a whole entire blueprint that I do for my clients, given to you. You can really follow along and do it for yourself if you want to. It's a lot harder than it looks, but I think you're smart because you're on this channel. So if you want to do it for yourself, you can. But if you want to avoid all the headaches, make more money, down below link in the description, how to call me directly, help you as your agent, that's the best price for your house. Now, we're not done yet, though. Live example. People might saying, well, this is just facts. This is just numbers. It's not real. Like, you're just making stuff up. So this is a house I just sold recently. We closed this house in 7 days, start to finish. So on market on a Friday, and we sold on the next Friday, technically Thursday. So 6 days in the market. It was closed and funded. It was under contract in 3 days. And we got $100K above asking price, 11.1%. We was $40 higher than the higher price homes on the average in the area. We sold $120K above asking price because the average ask price, so $120K with average homes closed in the area, $180K higher than the homes on the market average price. And again, 3 days on the market, and average on market was 75 days, longest was 634, and we were the only home in a 90-day radius to sell above the asking price but one other one. The only one. Every other home in the marketplace sold at ask or way below asking price. So this is a live example. And this is even more context because in this example of a for-sale by owner, this is like somebody on the MLS still selling the house that doesn't do it full-time. And these are people who the full-time job is being an agent and we still outperform them. Crazier math up above as well of a whole breakdown of this data actually on this property. We outperformed every home and agent in the past 5 years in this zip code, which is 78702. So like, this for context. This is why I think it's so important to hire an agent. Also why it's so important to not take cash offers if it's not listed. Cash offers are great, but if it's on the MLS, it's great. If it's not on the MLS, you should avoid doing it because more often than not, their goal in the marketing strategy is to get way below asking price and make more money. So for yourself, I think you should reconsider. And if you want more help, more support, down below, link in the description, have a call with me directly, see what the best goals are. And if you don't work with me after the call, no harm, no foul, we still be friends. But I'm going to have this information for you, available for you as well. Hope this helpful for you all. If you enjoy this video, you also will love this as well. This whole playlist breaks down all things sellers for you, has the best amount of results on that regards. Up above, it will break down how to sell a house for yourself. If you want to do that still, totally can. I literally give you my strategy. You can steal for yourself. But as always, thanks for watching. See you at the top. Have the best day yet. Happy to have you here.